Houston Real Estate Radio.
Welcome back to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shannon Register, and today we are broadcasting from the Woodlands, the Fall Home and Garden Show over here at the Marriott in the Woodlands, and we've seen quite a turnout today. Lots of people out looking to see what all vendors are in the area today. We've seen everything from home remodelers to blinds and shades to hand soaps and decorating. I mean, everything is here today. It seems like anything that can have to do with the home is here today. So come on out and join us. We're having a lot of fun out here. Right now, I've got my friend from Check-A-Pro here, Jim Klauck, joining me to talk about what's going on out here.
Shannon, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
Love being on your show. It's actually more fun being interviewed by someone else than actually doing the interview. So you're in the hot spot. 10th annual show here in the Woodlands.
It's exciting.
It is. I've been to probably the past 6 shows here. And once again, another fantastic show.
Mm-hmm. Big turnout. So any products out there that you haven't seen in the past that you saw today?
You know, many of the products are quite similar as they are. In other words, the electricians and the plumbers and the AC companies and the roofers are here. And every year there's just a little bit of a change. Technology changes. A lot of companies are trying to become more efficient, more green, more eco-friendly. And we see a lot of that. But traditionally, if you want to come down to the show, you're going to see the same things. The kitchen remodelers and the bath remodelers and the people who sell spas and swimming pools. But over the years, I think that there have been some gradual changes, gradual innovations, and I really haven't seen any major changes in this particular show. But Shannon, I go to many home shows.
Yeah, you know what? I really like looking at what's available because you can get so many ideas. You know, decorating ideas of things to do with your landscaping, just things you could do with your home. The organizers, I love the closet organizers and the pantry organizers. I need those. I think those are fabulous. Just a lot of things out here that are really neat. And you have a really neat product. Tell me about your unique product over at Check-A-Pro.
Sure. At checkapro.com, we pre-qualify contractors for your home. So if you can't come to a home show, we have a virtual home show on our website at checkapro.com. It's open 24/7 with over 200 plus contractors there. Now, here's something unique that we do, Shannon. We actually check them out. We check their references and we check their licenses. I personally interview each one, and I know every owner of that company. So if you were to use one of our plumbers and say, hey, Jim, they didn't show up on time, I could call them and say, why didn't you show up to Shannon's house on time? So if you ever use any of our contractors, go to checkapro.com or call me, and you can actually, on the website, fill out a feedback form, and I'll make sure that we make things right with you and that contractor.
Yeah, you've got some great contractors, and it really doesn't matter which part of Houston you live in because you service so many areas.
You're right. Whether it's Woodlands, Spring, Cy-Fair, Katy, Sugarland, the Inner Loop, 11 different local markets in the greater Houston area, so we're serving over 5 million people here in Houston.
And there's a lot of places you can go to find contractors. I mean, a lot of people just look in the yellow pages or go Google it online. What makes you guys unique? Y'all are very different.
What really makes us unique is our process. Like I had mentioned, I interview each one personally. And if you go to the yellow pages or go to Google, those two services have no idea who's paying them for that. I do know who's paying us. And yes, the contractor does pay us to list them because we do market this. But the consumer can trust us more because it's my company. I started the company in 2005 here in Houston. I'm not going to let any contractor take the company down. So when there's a complaint, I'm all over it. If you hire someone from the Yellow Pages, who are you going to complain to?
Right. Yeah.
The Yellow Pages don't care.
That's right. And, you know, I love that you're a locally owned company. You know, you really take care of people. And that's great service.
Yeah, my family and I live out here in the Woodlands. We used to live in Katy, where I started the company. So we're in the greater Houston area. And Check-A-Pro can't be found anywhere else. People say, hey, is this a franchise? Well, not yet, but maybe it will. But
maybe
for now,
one day, right?
Yeah, exactly. But for now, we service the Houston area. We know the Houston contractor well, and we know the Houston homeowner very well, and we work hard every day to match those two together.
What are the services that you see people using most common through Check-A-Pro? Is it the maid services,
Yep.
the landscaping, the electricians? You know, what do you see most commonly
This
used?
time of year, air conditioning is number one.
Oh,
the air
yeah,
conditioning
okay.
companies, the plumbing companies, the electricians, handyman category is big. If a storm comes through, roofers. The roofers weren't that busy last year because it didn't rain. And if it didn't rain, you didn't know you had a leak.
Oh,
this year,
okay.
they've been busier. And if we get a tropical disturbance, well, they can be even more busy. So really, the top ones, AC, plumbing, electricians, and handyman. The neat thing about the handyman service is they can hang a ceiling fan or paint the wall. They do all kinds of stuff.
Yes, I've used those services, and they are fabulous because they can just take care of all the things that you don't have time to fix around your home.
Yep.
You're just real busy and don't have time to do them.
And Shannon,
and take
people
care
come
of
to
'em.
our website for three primary reasons. Either to get something fixed, like your AC, remodeled, like your kitchen, or something clean, like a maid service or a pressure washer.
You know, I know you have some remodelers, and what do you think consumers, what do you think their biggest issue is when they remodel? What do you think their biggest problem is that they run into when they're trying to remodel their home?
The homeowner.
they
No,
get
it's
in
true.
the way.
It's true. I tell people, if you're going to get anything remodeled, let's say it's a kitchen, and you're putting 50, 60, 100,000 into that kitchen, which people can do,
Sure.
you need to be able to live with that contractor, and the contractor has to be able to live with that homeowner. It's very stressful because there's a lot of money involved, okay? And they're coming into your home, and they're generally going through and destroying your kitchen
Yeah.
and rebuilding it. And there's always change orders and extra expenses here. Often it goes off budget. If budget was $50,000, they want to know why it was $65 in the end. Well, because there were a lot of change orders.
Right.
And so the biggest problem really is the relationship. And I tell people, if you don't have a warm and fuzzy, if you don't have a good gut feeling with the contractor you're working with as a homeowner, don't do it. I tell contractors the same thing. I'll have contractors say, I shouldn't have taken that job. I said, why? Well, I didn't really feel good about that homeowner. Well, then you shouldn't have taken the job.
Right.
It is a marriage for a period of time.
When homeowners are really looking for people to be recommended, they don't always know how to interview them. You know, they get recommended different people to see which one they want to
Sure.
have remodel or do whatever the service is. What would you advise them? What are some of the top questions you would advise them to ask those service providers? I mean, how do you know as a homeowner what to ask them to interview them?
Shannon, that's a great question. You're going to want to ask them for references so you can call other homeowners, their customers, and ask them how they did. Even ask those customers, hey, may I stop by and see the work they did? And a lot of people will open up
Well, a
their
lot of
house
people do
because they're
that.
proud of their new kitchen,
Yeah.
especially if it was, within the past 6 months. If it was if it was something they're proud of, and if it's not something they're proud of, they might not let you over there. You want to ask for their certificate of insurance. A certificate of insurance tells you that they're properly insured. And I would recommend for most contractors, make sure they have at least $1 million of general liability insurance. Don't let them give you a certificate of insurance. Ask for their insurance agent to either email it or fax it to you. So now it's coming from a third party, the people who are insuring them.
Okay.
And interview the contractor, especially if it's a remodeling job. Now, if it's something quick, like someone's going to pressure wash or walk, it's not a big deal. But the remodeling's a big
Yeah.
piece. Sit down and talk to them. And if you don't like them or trust them, don't do business with them. People do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Right.
If you don't like and trust them, forget it.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people, when they interview service providers, they really are comparing quotes. And there's
Yeah.
a lot more to it than the bottom line. I mean,
Don't
you got
look
to
at
be
the
happy
numbers.
with that person, And like
Exactly.
you said, it's kind of a marriage for a temporary amount of time.
Sure. I mean, you're not buying a hamburger here. The hamburger is in and out real quick, okay? The contractor's not. Don't go over the price only, Look at everything and interview 3 to 5 contractors for that remodel job. Whittle it down. If you start with 5, whittle it down to 3 and then maybe to 2. And often you're going to find a price a little higher than the middle, or maybe quite a bit higher than the middle, but it may not be the highest price, but you're going to feel comfortable overall if you take the time and interview them. You don't go out and get married right away, unless you're a celebrity in Las Vegas, but you don't go out and get married right away, do you? You take your time,
Sure.
and there's a courtship. Well, there should be a little bit, especially if you're spending tens of thousands of dollars on your kitchen.
Right. And it's interesting because you kind of assume that all these contractors are licensed, but there's a lot of them a lot of industries that aren't licensed. Can you tell us about some of the ones that, a lot of consumers probably think are licensed that aren't?
Absolutely. 2 big ones off the top of the head are pool builders. They can often leave a hole in your backyard and run away and change their name. They run into money problems all the time. And the second one are roofers.
Really?
Yes, they don't have to be licensed. So people can dig a hole in your backyard or they can put a roof on your house. They do not have to be licensed. The ones that do, the primary ones, are air conditioning companies, plumbers, electricians, pest control companies, irrigation companies. Those are the big ones. Almost everyone else, like a kitchen remodeler, they don't have to be. They just don't. Not in Texas. Other states, yes. Not in Texas. That's another reason to go to checkapro.com. Not that we give out licenses, but we keep an eye on these guys.
Yeah, that's interesting because, there are a lot of people in a lot of service industries that don't require a license here in Texas that other states do.
Yeah, most don't. Most people who come to your house to do service work do not need to be licensed.
Very interesting. Good to know.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you joining me here today on Houston Real Estate Radio. One of the things I want to tell consumers about is that we have a home buyers seminar coming up. That's going to be on September 1st from 10 to noon. And you can get more information if you're interested in buying a home or first-time home buyer. You can get more information about that by calling us over at the real estate brokerage at 281-288-3500. And you can also find out more at rrea.com. And it's a great, really great seminar. We're going to have our in-house lender there on Q Financial. We'll have agents there, and you can really get a lot of information. If you're not sure if you're ready to buy a home, they can get you ready to do that and give you a time frame for purchasing. So we're looking forward to that seminar, and we appreciate you joining us today here on Houston Real Estate Radio. And we've been having a great time here at the Fall Home and Garden Show here in the Woodlands, and look forward to seeing you at the Houston show, which I believe will be the next show that we go to. And want to thank you, Jim, for coming on with me today.
Shannon, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
It's always great talking to you.
You too.